Hey everyone, my name is Simpzy. How you all doing? Welcome back to some more FC24 Manchester United realistic and sensible career mode here today on the channel. We have Season 2, Episode 6 of the career series. So if you'd like the sound of that, feel free to leave the video a like and subscribe if you're new. I would really much appreciate it. Alrighty, so here today we've got the second leg in the first tie of the Champions League round of 16. We won the first leg against Benfica quite emphatically, 6-2, and now we have the second leg. So hopefully we can progress to the next round. FA Cup, still very much to play for, and of course we are still fighting for our first Champions League and Premier League. Now, unfortunately, just to recap the last episode, we lost 5-4 on penalties in the Carabao Cup final after drawing 6-6. Moving on now to a FA Cup fixture against Aston Villa. We go on to win this one 3-2, which puts us in a match against Liverpool coming up. It's going to be a good one. We have a Premier League match against Everton, which we managed to go on and draw, unfortunately, 1-1. Phillips scored in the 20th, Dusan Vlahovic in the 34th. Back in the Premier League, we pick up another draw thanks to Southampton at Old Trafford. Casemiro gets the goal along with Stewart. Back in the Champions League, we sit on 6-2. We managed to win that leg down in Portugal, and I feel super confident now that there's no way Benfica are going to score 5 goals at Old Trafford. So we are going to do a risky sim here. But here we go. Match against Benfica. It ends in a 1-1 draw. We go through 7-3 on aggregate, and our Champions League campaign continues, thankfully. Now in the FA Cup, we can focus on that the Carabao's done and dusted. But we've been drawn against Jurgen Klopp's Liverpool, a team we knocked out in the Carabao. Also Man City we knocked out, but another Northwest derby. So here we go. 37 minutes have passed. Either side hasn't had an opportunity until Liverpool's first real attempt. Gravenberch goes to McAllister, and it's nearly a screamer off the post there, a power shot, and now Manchester United can try and counter-attack from this. Liverpool simply pushing way too many players forward. Marcus Rashford goes up the other end, goes all the way. Could have unselfishly played it to Dusan Vlahovic, but this man is just oozing with confidence in this season. He's probably going to break the Champions League goal record, which has been standing for so many years, and obviously is still in red-hot form in the Cups. So we're keeping our FA Cup campaign alive. Last season, we won the Carabao and the FA. Unfortunately, we only just narrowly made top 4. We should have gone and won the league, and we got knocked out of the Champions League early. So the boys are super hungry for a trophy, and they might just get one if they're playing this style of football. 2-0 now. Marcus Rashford scores a brilliant brace at the Stretford end, and it's 2-0 just before the 51st. After that disappointing Carabao Cup defeat on penalties by the smallest of margin to Pochettino's Chelsea, the boys are super duper duper hungry, and Marcus Rashford is leading the charge. 2-0. Jurgen Klopp could be out of another cup and probably should deserve to get sacked. I do kind of wish that managers could change jobs in career mode. I think it's kind of unrealistic that they don't. For example, I love to see in Football Manager when new managers take the reins of football clubs. As Vlahovic now looks to make it 3-0, and he does, and we are just playing such glorious and simply great-looking football. It's 3-0. Thanks to Vlahovic now. He steps up, going in, hits an expected goal of 0.32. It's a right footer as well, going with his non-preferred. Jurgen Klopp absolutely frustrated and simply angry on the touchline as his Liverpool side has capitulated. They haven't won a trophy. They barely made top 4. They've been not the best side in this career series, but they want to try and get back into it. They still have a lot of top-notch quality players as Liverpool go forward, and United clear it out clearly. Gravenberch Good chip over the top, finds Diaz. Liverpool with another attempt, but Kim Min bombs it out, and Manchester United retain possession. Sitting 5 at the back, we actually maintain possession of the football quite well, winning it back, and Frankie de Jong has just had a surge here, surging past Marcus Rashford. He now makes it 4-0 in the 87th minute, and we continue our FA Cup campaign, knocking out Liverpool a second time around in an early stage of a cup tie. This time at Old Trafford. We knocked them out last time at Anfield. With 5 more minutes remaining, can we make it 5 goals back to back? Only time will tell. Liverpool at the other end. Mo Salah goes forward, and unfortunately, with 40 seconds remaining, Courtois gets his clean sheet smashed, but it was only a matter of time before eventually Liverpool were going to score. A little bit weird seeing Mo Salah get up on the barricade, show his name on his back, even though they just got knocked out of this FA Cup tie. And the board are super happy with me, as they want me to not only get to a final and win, I definitely want to try and get there again. So last year's FA Cup winners continue to the next round. Back in the Premier League, we've slipped down to 4th, which isn't the best, but we're still very much in a title race between Arsenal, Man City, and Liverpool. But there's still plenty of football to be played. We need to play this one against Newcastle, though. A team we're going to need to play a lot this season, of course. Hosting the Magpies at Old Trafford. Casemiro goes forward. Rashford on the ball. Slips through Dusan Vlahovic. Makes it 1-0 just before the 18th. It's always been Marcus Rashford starting off the scoring. It's nice to see the Serbian Dusan step up this time around, as the Red Devils go 1 goal up against Newcastle, who last year were in the Champions League, of course. They did all right, winning a couple of games against PSG. And now, this time around, I don't think they're in the Champions League in Season 2. So they are wanting to make that top 4, get back in it. I believe they might be in the Europa League. I haven't checked out their European football exactly. But they have made a massive claim, bringing in Gavi from Barcelona. What a midfield, Gavi and Tonali. Who would have thought that Newcastle would be where they were a couple of years ago? The takeover, the Saudi takeover, is still something I need to get my head around. It's kind of crazy. I can't imagine being a Newcastle fan with that amount of investment coming in. Tonali goes forward. He hits it past Courtois, and unfortunately it's gone to a 1-1 draw just before the 33rd. And speaking of Tonali, he could be a potential player we could look to snipe maybe. He is now Premier League proven coming into Season 2. We will need to look for a central defensive midfielder. Not this season, now that the January transfer window is gone, but maybe in the next if we make to Season 3. He could be a good CDM. Tonali just dominating the play in this one. But what a pivot. Gavi, basically like your Frankie de Jong. Tonali, a little bit more offensively, but still like defensively quite minded. Not so much as Casemiro. Frankie de Jong finds Rashford. United trying to build something up here. I actually don't mind the Saudi green, to be honest. As it gets floated on in to Dubravka, they still probably need to strengthen their goalkeeping department. Nick Pope has now been officially dropped, but it's 1-1. As Gavi goes forward, Newcastle looking to take the lead at half-time as Harvey Barnes storms forward and makes it 2-1 just before the 48th. And United are kind of shell-shocked at that. But Harvey Barnes, after leaving Leicester, is playing some top-notch, sensational football. Hits it outside the box, and Courtois really couldn't get a look in. Went to full stretch, but was quite wide off the mark. As Newcastle take the lead, the Magpies are playing some pretty good footy. Second half, looking to try and salvage a draw. Newcastle have been the better side in this one, as Dusan Vlahovic fires it into Reece James going forward. Vlahovic, after scoring one goal, can he get his second? Of course he does. One-on-one with Dubravka. He manages to make it 2-2 with 5 minutes remaining. Will there be another scoreline change, or will it end in this 2-2 draw? Stick around to find out. Vlahovic buries it. And the match ends in a 2-2 draw. Back in the Premier League, we've got a match against Wolves. And we go on to win 2-0. Thanks to another brilliant brace from Dusan Vlahovic. This time at Old Trafford. Picks up a really nice brace. Match against Fulham now. At Craven Cottage, down in London, we managed to pick up a decent 3-1 victory. Vlahovic, Rashford and Shaw picking up a goal in the 64th. Back in the league again. Unfortunately, we picked up a draw against Aston Villa. It's 1-1. Martial saves the points in the 64th. And now we've got some more Champions League football. We have the quarterfinals, and we've been drawn against Bayer Leverkusen. Bayern play PSG. Napoli play Fenerbahce. Napoli being last year's Champions League winners. But it's a interesting team. You might think, oh, okay, Bayer Leverkusen, they're probably a weaker side. They've got Schick, Gerard Moreno, Lacazette, Lukaku, Xhaka, Florian Wirtz, who is going to be one of their key attacking players in this one. They've got Frimpong, Pickford and Kimpembe. So it's a solid career mode side. So let's get stuck into Bayer Leverkusen at Old Trafford. 6 minutes in, Marcus Rashford starts off the scoring. Their defence is going to be weak. They are playing a 3 at the back formation while we're playing a 5. It's going to be a really interesting and entertaining fixtures of football. 5 versus 3, and they have a bunch of forward line capability, and Romelu Lukaku is going to be facing his former side. A striker I did try to pick up, but unfortunately the first season he was obviously loaned out to Jose Mourinho's Roma. He went back to Chelsea, but because we were on strict transfers, Chelsea blocked any negotiations with the player. So we could look maybe to pick him up depending on this Bayer Leverkusen result, but it's still Season 3, so probably not. 1-0 up, United looking to press and push their advantage. Rashford surges forward again with a nice bit of skill and trickery. Unfortunately, Fernandez's shot got hacked on out. Kim goes forward, wins it, back against a Bundesliga side, and somehow Rashford gets onto the end of it. I'm still a little bit surprised he managed to score and bury that one. But it's 2-0. And we're keeping this Champions League campaign alive. But you need to remember, guys, we need to win the Premier League or the Champions League. Or personally, for me, I would consider this season a failure. Hell, I think the board might sack us if we don't win a trophy this season. They want us to go and do the treble. I think it's kind of unrealistic. They were kind of they weren't that happy with me winning the double last year. So, hey, that's ultimate difficulty for you. It's going to be difficult. I never said this career series was going to be easy. But 2-0 up. We're going to look for the third here. Brilliant interception. Fernandez back to Rashford. Dusan Vlahovic has now been released. And this 3 at the back formation is simply not working for Bayer Leverkusen. They're going to have to change up something, or I can already foresee more Manchester United goals, as we've scored 3 in rapid succession here, scoring 3 goals within 23 minutes. Dusan Vlahovic goes forward and hammers this one past Pickford. Who would have thought Pickford would be between the sticks for Bayer Leverkusen? The former Everton goalkeeper now plays in Germany. 3-0 up. Man United looking for number 4, and Toni Kroos is actually considering retirement, which is super interesting. He was a former Bayer Leverkusen player, I remember back in the day, as Frankie de Jong sails this one through to make it 4-0 before 32 minutes have been played in this match. Speaking of Toni Kroos, we haven't been able to fit him into the side. I did make that signing when we had a 3-man midfield. Now that we've gone with a 2, I really can't find a way for him to get into it. He has been playing here and there, but he's even just that little bit older than Casemiro as well. He's got 2 years on him, and it's tough that he's going, and it's upsetting that he's going down in stats rapidly. I feel like that Toni Kroos signing is just a little bit too late. We should have made that signing, 4-5 years ago, realistically. But maybe he wouldn't have moved. But unfortunately, we do let a goal slide here just before the 37th as Gerard Moreno steps up to make it 4-1 for Leverkusen. And Schick, before half-time, surges forward. Patrick Schick. I'd love to see this player at West Ham, to be honest. I'm surprised they haven't pulled the trigger on him. But he now makes it 4-2. And never say never. Bayer Leverkusen. Isn't that the meme? They managed to get 2 goals back, which has kind of shocked us a bit after dominating the majority of the first half. But to let 2 goals like that go through is incredibly disappointing after purely dominating the German side. I feel like the Bayer Leverkusen managerial staff and manager have tactically rejigged some things, and they look a lot more offensive and a lot more solid going forward. We're going to try and make an attempt to nullify those 2 goals. They are still susceptible for the 3 at the back, as Frankie de Jong goes forward and absolutely sails that one through, making it number 5 for Manchester United just before the 60th minute there. Frankie goes forward, winds up 13 metres out, hammering it past Pickford, who now is a Bayer Leverkusen player. Who would have thought? But so far, we're putting on a really, really good run in the Champions League. But to be fair, we've had quite easy draws. In the sense that we got drawn against Benfica, arguably only just a top 3 Portuguese side, Benfica, Bayer Leverkusen, only just a top 4 Bundesliga side. We haven't been facing the Bayerns. We haven't been facing your PSGs. Unfortunately, there Florian Wirtz gets on the score sheet from a set play. A little bit of kerfuddle with the defence. Still 5-3. Still got those goals, but we're still letting in silly goals, which is incredibly disappointing. The layup goes on, and Florian Wirtz, with a fair few players around him, Courtois might have been blocked slightly, but no one went in to contain. No one committed their body to stop the shot. And now it is 5-3. Got to make some subs here now to maybe change things up. And we'll see how we go. 5-3. Bayer Leverkusen on the counter-attack in the 87th. And would you believe it? After dominating this first half, it's going to end in a 5-4 scoreline as out of nowhere, Bayer Leverkusen has pretty much saved this tie. I feel like if we went into the second leg with a 5-2, even a 5-3 drumming of them, it would be a hard task even at home, even for Bayer Leverkusen in Germany to come back. But now it's only a 1-goal game, and now they have the return leg. We've simply conceded too many. Unless we can get one more back here. No, it's going to end out 5-4 as we're going to go to Germany next week. And on that note, it's time to end the video here. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you've enjoyed episode 6 of my Manchester United realistic and sensible career series. Stay tuned for episode 7 coming out the exact same time tomorrow, where we're going to have the second leg in the Champions League, still fighting for the Premier League title and more FA Cup fixtures to come. Like and subscribe if you haven't already. Let me know feedback and suggestions and in the comments, and players you would like me to sign for Season 3. You're more than welcome to leave suggestions in the comments. But that's it from me. Make sure to take care of yourselves. Have a fantastic rest of your day. My name has been Simpzy, and I will see you in the next one. Cheers.